Captain Jake Morrison stood on the bridge of his ship and looked at the stars ahead. His hands were steady on the control panel, but his heart was beating fast. The alien ships were coming, and they thought humans were weak. Jake knew better. He had been part of the plan for 10 years now, and today everything would change. The Zephyrian fleet moved through space like a group of hunters. Their ships were big and dark with weapons that could destroy planets. Admiral Lisa Carter watched them from her hidden command center deep inside what looked like an old mining station. She smiled, but her eyes were cold. The aliens had no idea what was waiting for them. Commander Ryan Walsh flew his small ship in circles around Earth. His ship looked old and broken. Paint was falling off the sides and smoke came from the engines. The alien scouts had been watching ships like his for months. They saw exactly what humans wanted them to see. Weak ships that could barely fly. Old weapons that did not work well. A race that had just learned to travel between planets. The truth was very different. Ryan's ship only looked broken. Under the fake rust and smoke was technology that could make the aliens run away screaming. But the plan required patience. Humans had learned to wait and watch while others thought they were stupid. General Patricia Stone sat in a room full of screens and computers. Each screen showed a different part of space around Earth. She could see the alien fleet getting closer. She could see human ships pretending to be scared. She could see the hidden weapons that waited in the dark. Everything was ready. The Zephyrian Admiral sent a message to Earth. His voice was deep and full of pride. He told humans they had one day to surrender or die. He said his ships would take Earth and make humans into slaves. He said resistance was useless because aliens had better technology and more ships. Jake listened to the message and wanted to laugh. The alien admiral had no idea how wrong he was. Humans had been watching alien ships for 30 years. They knew every weakness and every strength. They had built weapons specifically to fight these exact ships. The aliens thought they were hunters, but they were really walking into a trap. Lisa Carter gave orders to her team. People in the hidden base moved quickly and quietly. They turned on systems that had been sleeping for years. They loaded weapons that no alien had ever seen. They prepared to show the galaxy what humans could really do when they stopped pretending to be weak. The alien fleet spread out around Earth like a net. They thought they were surrounding a helpless planet. Ryan Walsh and the other human pilots flew their fake broken ships in patterns that looked like panic. The aliens felt good about themselves. They thought the battle was already won, but Jake Morrison knew something the aliens did not. Behind the moon waited the biggest surprise in human history. The UES Leviathan had been building in secret for 15 years. It was bigger than anything the aliens had and filled with technology they could not imagine. Today, the whole galaxy would learn that humans were not the weak race everyone thought they were. Patricia Stone looked at her watch. The time had come. She picked up her communicator and spoke one word. Begin. Across the solar system hidden. Bases received the signal, weapons powered up. Ships prepared to move. The greatest deception in galactic history was about to end. The alien admiral felt confident as his ships moved into position. His scouts had told him everything about human technology. Their ships were slow and their weapons were weak. This would be an easy victory that would make him famous across the galaxy. He had no idea that human scouts had been inside his own ships taking pictures and stealing information. Jake watched the alien fleet and felt sorry for them. They had come here thinking they were strong. They had traveled across space believing their own propaganda about human weakness. In a few minutes they would learn the truth, and it would change everything they thought they knew about the universe. Lisa Carter stood up from her chair and walked to the window of her command center. Outside she could see Earth hanging in space like a blue jewel. The aliens thought they were about to conquer this beautiful planet. Instead, they were about to discover that Earth was protected by weapons and ships that could destroy their entire civilization if humans chose to do so. The deception had taken decades to build. Humans had let aliens think they were primitive while secretly developing technology that was generations ahead of anything in the galaxy. They had pretended to struggle. with basic space travel while building ships that could cross the galaxy in weeks. They had acted like their weapons were weak while creating devices that could crack planets in half. Ryan Walsh received a message on his communicator. It was time to stop acting. His broken ship suddenly flew straight and smooth. The smoke stopped, and the engines hummed with power. Around Earth, dozens of other human ships did the same thing. The act was over. The alien admiral noticed the change immediately. The human ships that had been flying like wounded birds were now moving with precision and speed. Something was wrong. He tried to contact his home fleet, but the signals were being blocked. Humans had taken control of all communications in the system. Jake. Morrison smiled as he watched confusion spread through the alien fleet. Soon they would see the Leviathan and understand just how badly they had been fooled. The hidden supercarrier was about to appear and shock the entire galaxy. The space around Earth's moon began to shimmer like water in the sunlight. Commander Alex Turner sat in his chair aboard the hidden command ship and watched the readings on his screen. The cloaking fields that had taken humanity 20 years to perfect were finally shutting down. His finger moved over the control panel and he pressed the button that would change galactic history forever. Admiral Kethver of the Zephyrian fleet stared at his viewscreen in confusion. The asteroid field near the moon was acting strange. Rocks that had been floating peacefully for millions of years were now glowing with bright lights. His science officer reported energy readings that made no sense. Something was happening then. His computers could not explain. The first ships to appear were human destroyers. They came out of the light like ghosts becoming real. Each destroyer was 3 times bigger than the largest Zephyrian warship. Their hulls were smooth and silver with no visible weapons, but energy readings showed they were loaded with power that could destroy moons. The alien admiral counted 12 destroyers appearing from what had looked like empty space. Alex Turner smiled as he watched the alien fleet react. Some ships tried to retreat but found their engines were not working properly. Humans had been sending invisible signals that messed with alien technology for the past hour. The Zephyrians were trapped and they knew it. More ships appeared from the cloaking field. Human cruisers materialized one by one until 30 of them floated in formation around Earth. Each cruiser was bigger than a Zephyrian battle station and moved through space with grace that seemed impossible for something so large. Their engines made no sound and left no trail, but they could accelerate faster than any alien ship. Captain Nicole Parker stood on the bridge of something that was still hidden. She looked at the screen showing the alien fleet and felt proud of what her people had accomplished. The Leviathan was the greatest achievement in human history, and in 30 seconds, the whole galaxy would see it for the first time. The cloaking field around the moon flickered one final time and then disappeared completely. What it revealed made every alien in the system stop breathing. The UES Leviathan hung in space like a metal mountain. It was almost 2 kilometers long and half a kilometer wide. Its hull was covered with launch bays and weapon ports. Thousands of lights blinked along its surface, showing that 50,000 humans lived and worked inside. Admiral Kethver felt his hands shake as he stared at the human supercarrier. His entire fleet could fit inside one of its landing bays. The weapons on its surface were bigger than his command ship. He had come to conquer Earth with 100 ships, but this one human vessel could probably destroy his entire civilization. Nicole Parker opened communications with the alien fleet. Her voice was calm and friendly, but carried authority that made alien commanders stand straighter. She told them that Earth welcomed peaceful visitors but would destroy anyone who came to their system with violent intentions. She asked if the Zephyrians were friends or enemies. The Leviathan's fighter bays opened and thousands of small ships poured out like angry insects. Each fighter was the size of a Zephyrian transport but moved faster than alien interceptors. They formed perfect formations in space and waited for orders. The message was clear. Humans had military power that the galaxy had never imagined. Alex Turner sent signals to hidden bases throughout the solar system. One by one they began appearing, from behind asteroids and inside gas clouds. Manufacturing stations that could build entire fleets in weeks. research facilities where human scientists worked on technology that looked like magic, defense platforms armed with weapons that could crack planets. The alien science officer reported impossible readings. Human ships were using power sources that his instruments could not identify. Their weapons operated on principles that violated known physics. Their shields seemed to bend space itself. Everything about human technology was decades ahead of what any civilization in the galaxy possessed. Nicole Parker walked through the halls of her ship and felt proud. The Leviathan was more than a warship. It was a city in space where families lived and children went to school. It had farms that grew food and factories that built anything humans needed. It could travel to other galaxies if necessary and support itself for decades without resupply. Admiral Kethver tried to contact his home government, but human ships were blocking all communications. He realized that his fleet was completely cut off from the rest of the galaxy. No one would know what happened here unless humans decided to tell them. The Zephyrians were at the mercy of a species they had thought was primitive. The revelation sent shockwaves through every alien ship in the system. Crew members who had been confident about easy victory now stared at their screens in fear. The humans they had planned to enslave possessed technology that made their own civilization look like children playing with toys. Alex Turner received reports from human agents throughout the galaxy. The plan was working perfectly. Other alien civilizations were receiving messages about what was happening at Earth. Soon every government in known space would understand that humans were not the weak species they appeared to be. Nicole Parker looked out the window of her bridge at the alien fleet. She felt sorry for them because they had been sent on a mission based on lies and false information. Their leaders had told them that humans were easy targets, but the truth was very different. Earth was probably the most heavily defended planet in the galaxy. The Leviathan moved slowly through space toward the alien fleet. Its massive bulk blocked out stars as it approached. Every alien ship seemed tiny compared to the human supercarrier. The message was clear without words. Humans had been hiding their true strength while the galaxy dismissed them as unimportant. Admiral Kethver made a decision that would save his fleet and his life. He ordered all weapons powered down and sent a message requesting permission to speak with human commanders. The invasion was over before it had truly begun. The aliens who had come to conquer Earth were now begging for mercy from the species they had underestimated. Colonel Steve Martinez climbed into his fighter and felt the familiar hum of advanced human technology around him. The cockpit sealed with a soft hiss and displays came alive, showing him everything happening in the space around Earth. His fighter was one of 50 launching from the Leviathan's primary flight deck, and each one carried enough firepower to destroy a Zephyrian cruiser. The launch bay doors opened and Steve saw space stretching out before him. The alien fleet hung in the distance, like dark shapes against the stars. He activated his engines and felt the fighter surge forward with acceleration that would have killed any alien pilot. Human technology had solved problems that other civilizations thought were impossible. Dr. Amanda Foster watched the launch from the Leviathan's tactical center. Her screens showed the positions of every ship in the system, and the readings made her smile. The alien vessels were trying to retreat, but their engines were working at only 60% efficiency. Human jamming signals were affecting their power systems in ways they could not understand or fix. Steve's fighter moved through space without leaving any energy trail that alien sensors could detect. His ship was completely invisible to their technology, even though he was flying in full view of their fleet. The stealth systems built into every human fighter were generations beyond anything the Zephyrians had ever seen, Admiral Kethver ordered his fastest ships to break away from Earth and return to Zephyrian space with news of what they had found. The ships engaged their maximum speed drives, but the human fighters caught up to them easily. Steve Martinez and his squadron surrounded the fleeing aliens and forced them to return to the main fleet without firing a single shot. The demonstration was not finished. Lieutenant Commander Chris Bennett sat at the weapons control station aboard the Leviathan and prepared to show the aliens what human firepower could accomplish. His target was a small asteroid in the outer system that posed no threat to anyone. The main cannon charged with power that made the entire supercarrier vibrate. Steve watched from his fighter as the Leviathan's weapon systems came online. Energy. Readings spiked beyond anything his instruments could measure properly. The main cannon was bigger than most alien ships and contained technology that could reshape matter at the atomic level. When it fired, the beam would be visible from other star systems. The cannon fired with a flash of light that temporarily blinded every sensor in the system. The beam reached across millions of kilometers in seconds and struck the target asteroid. With perfect accuracy, the space rock simply ceased to exist. Where there had been solid matter, there was now only empty space and an expanding cloud of particles. Admiral Kethver felt terror run through his body as he watched the display. The asteroid his sensors had measured as solid rock and metal had been completely destroyed by one shot from the human supercarrier. His entire fleet together could not have accomplished such destruction, and the humans had done it easily. Amanda Foster recorded every detail of the alien fleet's reaction. Their ships were radiating fear and confusion in ways that human sensors could detect. Some alien crew members were sending personal messages to their families because they thought they were about to die. The psychological impact of the demonstration was exactly what human planners had intended. Steve Martinez received new orders through his helmet communicator. He was to escort a small group of alien ships to a safe distance where they could observe what happened next. The Zephyrians were about to learn that the Leviathan was not the only surprise humans had prepared for uninvited guests. Chris Bennett targeted a larger asteroid that was roughly the size of a Zephyrian battle station. This time he used a different weapon system that worked by manipulating gravity itself. The asteroid began to compress under forces that no alien civilization could create. In 10 seconds it collapsed into a sphere the size of a baseball, but with the same mass as the original rock. The alien science officer reported readings that made no sense according to everything his people knew about physics. The humans had created a miniature black hole and then made it disappear without affecting anything else in the system. Their control over fundamental forces was so advanced it seemed like magic to anyone watching. Steve guided his fighter back toward the Leviathan and marveled at what his people had accomplished. The ship was more than a weapon or a home. It was proof that humans could achieve anything they set their minds to accomplish. While other species fought wars over resources, humans had learned to create whatever they needed. Admiral Kethver sent a message to Captain Parker requesting permission to speak directly with human leadership. His voice shook as he explained that his people had made a terrible mistake based on false information about human capabilities. He promised that Zephyrian ships would never threaten Earth again if humans would allow his fleet to return home safely. Amanda Foster analyzed the alien communications and found evidence that other civilizations were planning similar attacks. On Earth, the galaxy was full of species who thought humans were weak and ready for conquest. Today's demonstration would send a message that reached every corner of known space. The Leviathan's manufacturing bays came online and began producing new fighters in real time. Alien observers watched in amazement as human technology assembled complex spacecraft from raw materials in minutes rather than months. The production capability alone was enough to build fleets that could conquer the galaxy. Steve Martinez landed his fighter and climbed out feeling satisfied with the mission. The aliens had seen human technology in action and understood that Earth was not a target they could ever hope to defeat. The message would spread to other civilizations and prevent future attacks before they could begin. Chris Bennett powered down the weapon systems, but kept them ready for immediate use. The demonstration was over, but the lesson would last forever. Any alien civilization that threatened humanity would face destruction beyond their ability to comprehend or survive. Captain Parker opened communications with governments throughout the galaxy. Her message was simple and clear. Earth was protected by technology and weapons that no alien force could overcome. Humans preferred peace but were prepared for war if others chose violence. Instead of friendship, the display of power changed everything in the space around Earth. Alien ships that had come as conquerors now waited quietly for permission to leave. The galaxy had learned that humans were not the primitive species they appeared to be, and the knowledge would reshape politics and military planning for generations to come. Admiral Lisa Carter gave the order that would reveal the full scope of human preparation. Across Earth's solar system, hidden bases began appearing from behind planets and inside asteroid fields. Each installation had been operating in secret. For decades, while aliens thought humans barely understood space travel, the galaxy was about to learn just how wrong their assumptions had been. Commander Sarah Williams sat in a control room deep inside one of the hidden bases and activated systems that had been watching alien civilizations for 30 years. Her screens came alive with information about 17 different species, including detailed maps of their home systems and complete records of their military capabilities. Every alien government had secrets, but humans knew them all. The Zephyrian Admiral received a data transmission that made his hands shake with fear. Humans had been inside his ships taking pictures and copying files for months before the invasion began. They knew the location of every Zephyrian base and the weakness of every weapon system. The invasion had been doomed from the moment it was planned. Major Tony Rodriguez appeared on the communication screen of Admiral Kethfer's flagship. The alien commander recognized him immediately as Commander Vexstar, who had been serving on Zephyrian ships for 6 months. The trusted officer, who had access to classified invasion plans, was actually a human agent, using advanced shape-shifting technology that no alien scientist thought was possible. Sarah Williams transmitted intelligence reports to the alien fleet that proved humans had been watching and learning while the galaxy ignored them. Human agents lived on alien worlds and worked in alien governments. Human ships traveled invisibly through space, mapping every civilization and studying every military force. The Watchers had become the watched without anyone noticing. Lisa Carter stood before a massive display showing the locations of human bases throughout the galaxy. Research stations hidden in nebulas where scientists developed new technologies. Manufacturing centers built inside hollow asteroids where entire fleets could be constructed in secret. Observation posts that monitored alien communications and recorded every conversation between governments. The truth about human intelligence gathering shocked every alien in the system. President Helen Chang appeared on communication screens throughout known space, broadcasting a message that would change galactic politics forever. She explained that humanity had chosen isolation not from weakness, but from wisdom, while they prepared defenses that no military force could penetrate. Tony Rodriguez revealed how easily human agents had infiltrated alien civilizations. Shape-shifting technology allowed them to become perfect copies of any species for months at a time. Advanced psychology training helped them blend into alien cultures without raising suspicion. Quantum communication devices let them send information across the galaxy instantly without detection. The Zephyrian fleet discovered that their secret weapons had been known to humans for years. Sarah Williams showed them recordings of human scientists testing defenses against every type of alien armament. Earth's shields could stop any projectile or energy beam that Zephyrian technology could produce. Their surprise attack had no surprises left. Admiral Kethfer learned that humans had been deliberately feeding false information to his intelligence services. The primitive ships and weak weapons that Zephyrian scouts had observed were carefully constructed deceptions designed to make aliens feel confident about attacking Earth. Every detail had been planned to create a trap that would capture an entire invasion fleet. Lisa Carter authorized the release of files showing human technological achievements that had been hidden from the galaxy. Faster than light travel that could cross the universe in days rather than years. Matter manipulation devices that could turn asteroids into spacecraft. Artificial intelligence systems that could predict alien behavior with perfect accuracy. The revelation included evidence that humans had prevented several wars between alien civilizations by secretly providing information that led to peaceful solutions. While other species fought over resources and territory, humans had been working quietly to maintain stability in the galaxy. They had been protecting civilizations that did not even know they existed. Sarah Williams displayed recordings of human exploration ships that had visited every inhabited system in the galaxy without being detected. They had studied alien cultures and languages while remaining completely invisible to local sensors. The knowledge gathered during these secret missions filled libraries that would take lifetimes to read completely. President Chang explained that humanity had developed the ability to destroy any alien civilization within hours, but had chosen to use their power for protection rather than conquest. Human weapons could crack planets or move stars, but they preferred to prevent conflicts before they started. The galaxy owed its peace to a species most civilizations had never heard of. Tony Rodriguez revealed that human agents had been protecting alien worlds from natural disasters and hostile forces without taking credit for their actions. Asteroids that mysteriously changed course before hitting populated planets. Plagues that suddenly stopped spreading for no apparent reason. Enemy fleets that experienced technical failures at crucial moments. The alien fleet learned that humans possessed technology for traveling between dimensions and could escape to parallel universes if their home galaxy became too dangerous. Earth was not just protected by weapons and shields, but by the ability to disappear completely if necessary. No alien force could threaten humanity because humans always had somewhere else to go. Lisa Carter showed the aliens recordings of human colonies in distant galaxies that had been established centuries ago. While other species struggled to travel between nearby star systems, humans had already spread across multiple universes. Earth was just one home among thousands that humanity had built for itself. The psychological impact of these revelations was devastating for the alien commanders. Everything they thought they knew about the galaxy was wrong. Humans were not primitive newcomers but ancient guardians who had been protecting and guiding other civilizations for longer than most species had possessed space travel. Admiral Kethver realized that his people owed their survival to human intervention during a war with another alien race 50 years earlier. Technical failures that had saved Zephyrian ships from destruction had actually been caused by human agents working to prevent genocide. The species he had come to conquer had already saved his entire civilization. Sarah Williams transmitted the final revelation that shocked even the human crews watching from their hidden bases. Humanity was not originally from Earth but had arrived in this galaxy millions of years ago as refugees from a cosmic disaster. They had been secretly guiding the development of life and civilization, while waiting for other species to become wise enough to join them among the stars. The truth unveiled. That day changed everything that every alien in the galaxy believed about their place in the universe. The Leviathan moved through space with the Zephyrian fleet following behind like lost children seeking guidance from wise parents. Captain Nicole Parker stood in her ready room, preparing to welcome alien visitors who had come to conquer Earth, but now wanted to understand how they had been so completely wrong about human capabilities. The balance of power in the galaxy had changed forever. Admiral Kethver walked through the corridors of the human supercarrier with Lieutenant Don Cooper as his guide. Every step revealed wonders that challenged everything the alien commander thought he knew about technology and civilization. The walls were made of materials that seemed to repair themselves when damaged. The lighting came from sources that produced no heat but could adjust to any color or brightness needed. The manufacturing bays amazed the alien visitors most of all. Machines worked without operators to build spacecraft from raw atoms pulled out of empty space. A single bay could construct an entire fleet in the time it took Zephyrian shipyards to build one small fighter. The production capability alone was enough to supply armies that could conquer galaxies. Dan Cooper explained that the Leviathan was more than a warship, but actually a complete civilization that could support itself forever without outside help. Farms grew food using artificial sunlight and recycled water. Schools taught children subjects that included physics principles unknown to alien science. Hospitals used medical technology that could heal injuries and diseases that other species considered fatal. Senator Maria Santos received communications from alien governments throughout the galaxy who suddenly wanted to establish friendly relations with humanity. Presidents and emperors who had never heard of Earth were now sending messages offering trade agreements and military alliances. The political map of known space was being redrawn as every civilization tried to position itself as a friend of humanity. Nicole Parker walked with Admiral Cuthbert to the observation deck where they could see Earth hanging in space like a blue jewel. She explained that humans had spent centuries learning to live in harmony with their planet while developing technology that could reshape the universe. Other species had chosen expansion and conquest, but humanity had chosen wisdom and patience. The alien admiral learned that human children started their education by studying the cultures and languages of every known alien species. By the time they reached adulthood, most humans could think and communicate like members of dozens of different civilizations. This knowledge helped them understand how to interact with aliens without causing misunderstandings or conflicts. Then, Cooper showed the visitors through residential areas where human families lived in apartments larger than most alien homes. Each family had access to resources that would make them wealthy by the standards of any other civilization. Replicators could create any object or food they desired. Entertainment systems could simulate experiences from any world in the galaxy. The Zephyrian science officers studied human technology and realized that everything they had learned about physics was incomplete. Human devices operated on principles that seemed to violate natural laws but actually used aspects of reality that alien science had never discovered. The humans were not just more advanced, but understood the universe in fundamentally different ways. Maria Santos explained to alien diplomats that humanity was willing to share some of their knowledge with species that proved they could use it responsibly. Medical technology that could extend lifespans and cure diseases would be freely given to any civilization that promised to use it for peaceful purposes. Weapons technology would never be shared with anyone, Admiral Cuthbert asked Nicole Parker why humans had hidden their true capabilities for so long, instead of taking their rightful place as leaders of the galaxy. She smiled and explained that leadership was not about having the most powerful weapons, but about earning the trust and respect of others through wisdom and compassion. The tour of the Leviathan included laboratories where human scientists worked on projects that could reshape the fundamental structure of space and time. Some experiments involved creating new forms of matter that did not exist naturally anywhere in the universe. Others focused on developing ways to communicate with life forms that existed in different dimensions. Cooper revealed that every human ship was equipped with technology for terraforming planets and creating habitable worlds where none had existed before. While other species fought wars over resources, humans could simply build new planets whenever they needed more space. Scarcity was a problem they had solved centuries ago. The alien visitors learned that humanity had developed forms of entertainment and art that used sensory experiences unknown to other species. Music that could be felt as well as heard. Visual displays that affected emotions directly. Stories that allowed the audience to experience events from multiple perspectives simultaneously. Nicole Parker explained that human society had eliminated poverty and hunger through technology that could convert any form of matter into any other form. Energy was unlimited because they had learned to tap into the fundamental forces that powered the universe itself. Crime was almost unknown because everyone had access to whatever they needed or wanted. Admiral Cuthbert realized that the Zephyrian invasion had been doomed not just because of superior human technology, but because of superior human understanding of warfare itself. Every aspect of the attack had been predicted and prepared for years in advance. Humans had simply been too polite to tell the aliens that their plans were known. The political implications of human revelation spread across the galaxy faster than the speed of light. Civilizations that had been planning their own attacks on Earth quietly canceled their invasion plans. Others that had considered humanity irrelevant now scrambled to establish diplomatic relations before their competitors could gain advantages. Maria Santos worked with alien ambassadors to establish the first Galactic Council that would include human representatives. For the first time in galactic history, all major civilizations would have a forum for resolving conflicts peacefully. Humanity would not dominate the council but would provide guidance and wisdom when Requested. Commander Jake Morrison reflected on the success of humanity's long-term strategy as he watched alien ships preparing to return to their home systems. Humans had appeared weak while growing strong and seemed divided while secretly united. They had looked inward while actually reaching beyond the stars to touch every corner of the galaxy. The Leviathan represented more than human military power but symbolized what any civilization could accomplish through cooperation and dedication to peaceful purposes. The Supercarrier was not a weapon of conquest, but a tool for exploration and protection that would help guide the galaxy toward a future of peace and prosperity. The new galactic order began that day with humanity taking its place as elder siblings to younger civilizations that were still learning to use their power responsibly. The galaxy would never again make the mistake of underestimating Earth or the remarkable species that called it home.